Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. I'm out here basically waiting for paint to dry. We had to touch up the cabinets and stuff, and put some more of the oil on the countertop pieces, and they're still tacky. So I'm waiting for those to dry so we can go install those. Hopefully, we can get them in today. And I took a break and I started watching NFL Total Access. How is it David Carr is considered a quarterback expert? I mean, this is the same guy who said that Joe Montana is not in his top 10 quarterbacks. Really? But they're talking about my quarterback, Dak Prescott, and what the team is going to look like and how it's going to interact with Jon Kitna as well as with Kellen Moore. So we're learning that Kellen Moore is going to be on the sidelines making calls and stuff like some of the other younger coaches, and that Jon Kitna will actually be up in the booth, and we'll see how that dynamic goes. But let's listen to the guys real quick and we'll comment.
They want to get to the playoffs, and they want to win in the playoffs. They want to win playoff games. The expectation, there's that
we
word
did
again,
last
is
year.
huge.
We got in there, we won.
And he's a young quarterback in a high profile scenario with other high profile players, and he's been under a lot of criticism as a quarterback, playing with the star on his helmet. He's been under a lot of criticism, so he understands that yes, he has a huge contract coming up. He needs to play at a certain level. His teammates need to play at a certain level, and they need to win football games. Because if I'm the general manager or the owner, you're like, if I'm not paying guys, if they're not producing or if they're not winning. And that's just how the game goes. But
that's true.
Is he the franchise quarterback? A lot of people are questioning that. I think he is. I know he is. So he has to take a different approach.
It's I know he time. Is
it's
a franchise
time,
quarterback.
Not all the time for him, and he has to show that, and the rest of his teammates need to understand that.
Seems like the next natural step in his evolution as a quarterback. Going into year 4, he has more ownership, he's more confident about the things that are happening, so you can be that guy that tells everybody else what to do. He has somebody new telling him what to do this year, and that is Kellen Moore, who will be his offensive coordinator for the first time. Says he intends to call plays from the sideline because he wants to interact with the guys and Dak to their face. In the words of Kirk Cousins, you like that?
I do like it because I think that when you have an offensive coordinator that's in the booth, you lose a little bit of that connection because so many things happen in game, and to be able to have a conversation face to face with someone, you lose that if he's up there on the phone. You got to go over to the side. So I got Gary Kubiak was great. He was behind the quarterback. He was behind me. He could see. He was about 20 yards behind me, and he's looking at the defense, right? And he's telling me what's happening right then. I don't have to wait, to get back on the headset with him. Sean McVay's the same way. Sean McVay's right behind the quarterback, right behind Jared Goff. It's widely known that he's spitting a lot of information into Jared Goff's ear. So I think for Kellen Moore, Kyle Shanahan was the same way. Kellen Moore is going to be able to be that guy for Dak, and a guy that's played the position. And you have Jon Kitna as well as the quarterback coach. So you look at that. I mean, they had Frank Reich and Doug Peterson in Philadelphia. Carson Wentz had a great year. It's the same type of thing. You got two quarterbacks spitting information to Dak, and it's going to help a lot.
And if you want a perspective upstairs to someone who can see the entire field, that's where Jon Kitna, the quarterback coach, will be.
So you got somebody
quick.
Get that information down quick.
Okay.
In Indianapolis, Colt.
Okay, so that's basically the setup and the format for the Dallas Cowboys offense. And you kind of like that because basically you got three quarterbacks that hopefully together, and of course Jason Garrett being a former quarterback as well, you've got definitely the quarterback's point of view on there. I'm beginning to really enjoy what I'm hearing as far as what Jon Kitna is doing with Dak Prescott and how he's, definitely getting the mechanics down, and hearing him say things like, oh my God, he reminds me of Warren Moon. And a lot of you guys are kind of young. You don't understand what Warren Moon was. Warren Moon was Peyton Manning before Peyton Manning was Peyton Manning. Warren Moon had 4 seasons of over 4,000 yards passing. I know that doesn't seem like much now, but back in his day, that was unheard of. In fact, he was NFL passing champion, I believe, 2 years. Led the league in touchdown passes and so on. So when Jon Kitna tells you something like that, it's not from looking at films, it's from being on the sidelines watching that guy. You love that. And if you can get Jon Kitna to take what Dak already has and hones it, gets a little bit closer, getting him, better as far as his reads go, and now having better talent around him where he has a trust factor. I can't say that he honestly had a trust factor the first half of the season with all the new players that were out there, with your Terrence Williams, the Cole Beasleys, the Allen Hearns, and Cedric Wilsons and things, having those guys that if I try and fit this thing in there, are they going to be exactly where I want them to be? Are they going to be able to hold on to the ball, or is it going to be enough body catch and bounce out and end up being a pick six that's too close together? I think all of these factors together, along with Dak Prescott going into his fourth season, and I've said this, we've called it the power of four. The fourth year for quarterbacks. Don't believe me? Look at the statistics. Take a look at your Aaron Rodgers. Take a look at your Troy Aikmans. Take a look at your Ben Roethlisbergers, your Russell Wilsons. The fourth year is the year that they take about 1,000-yard explosion from where they were before, where they get out of those comfort levels and stuff, and all of a sudden now the game slows down for them, and it's that much easier. And that's when those quarterbacks finally really make the impact. And I look for that to happen with the change of coaching, with the better people around him in that year number 4. I'm happy. Hopefully you guys are too. And I hope to see you guys tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, for our live stream. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you guys soon.